Hello everybody, this is Dan Parker, also known as the Blind Machinist. We're coming to you from the Blind Machinist World Headquarters today, the 102nd floor. I want to show you, I got a new setup that I came up with for machining my Made in America pin clips. So these clips start as a piece of 7/8 hex. After several machining processes, this is one of the last steps. You see how big the body is? It's square on the bottom because that locates where I can put this radius on the top. So I got to make that shape into this shape, a narrowed radius. So you got a flat, 180 radius, and another flat. So that's a fairly complex, process to machine that, where you don't have a start and stop point, and when it stops, machine puts another little notch in it or whatever. So I was doing it before with my 5C spin fixture mounted horizontal, but I was having to use the bottom of the end mill. So I would machine it flat, rotate it, and then machine it flat. But the bottom of the end mill was making that rough. Even though I can't see it, I could feel it, and I just didn't like it. So I've been racking my head how I can machine that with the side of the end mill in the climb position for the final step. And so this is what I came up with. So I had this 90-degree plate, and luckily it already had slots machined into it. First I mounted this plate in my vise, then set my 5C spin fixture on top of it. And my spin fixture has this plate that Mr. Harris made for me, so I could just slide up against the edge, lock it down. Then I mounted the plate to the mill machine, used a square. So the machine square, this 5C spin fixture square. And so now we're going to start this process. But before I start, I'm going to ask you to take 2 minutes and to listen to something for me that's very important. If you've been following my page, you know that my worst injury is not my blindness, it's my traumatic brain injury. 2 years ago, I was introduced to something called hyperbaric oxygen therapy. It's the last resort I got to give me any hope of a quality of life for the rest of my life. Every day I suffer from what's called neurofatigue. About lunchtime, my brain is just overwhelmed. I crash, I get super tired, and I got to go take a nap. So that's hard for me and my wife to schedule social events, everything. I also suffer from anxiety, depression, headaches. Well, this hyperbaric oxygen therapy gives me hope that I can have my quality of life back. I'm trying to raise money. I got a little over 15,000 raised. I got to raise about 25,000. If you follow my page, I'm asking if you would make a donation. I don't care if it's $5, $10, or $20. If you like what I do, you appreciate what I do, and if you can't make a donation, we're all struggling, I understand. Just take 2 minutes and share my story, share why it's important to you, and how making a donation will help me. That's all I'm asking. It's very important to me. All right, so now back to business. So I have my machine set up. I got it set rough. So I'm going to offset the table about 20 thousandths, rough it in, move the table back 20, and in the climb position, do the finish cut. So right now, we're set up. I already got offset
0.484.
So, I got offset about 20 thousandths. So I got these stops. You'll see when I come around, they touch my jig here when it's 180 apart. So I got it locked in. So one of the most critical things is I have to go to center, then go 180. So once I start, I'll know about 2 revolutions of where I'm at. And I'll be moving this handle, listening to my digital readout, loosen my quill on my 5C, rotate that 180, lock that fixture back, and then finish the cut, then offset, and then reverse the procedure. So there's been a lot of motions with my hands. I'm gonna try to talk to you as I go, and let's see if we can make this happen without making any scrap.
0.997.
All right, so I'm at 1 inch. So I know I got it's going to start touching about 400. All right, so just start touching 430. So I got to go to 0. All right, so I know right there is going to be about 400. 401. So I got to go 2 revolutions from there. Right, 2.5 thousandths. Roughing this in, that's plenty fine. That's just all set in the center. It's not going to affect it on any of what I'm doing. So by hand, I'm rotating that part until this rod here touches this jig is a stop. Lock my quill. Finish going back apart. Now we'll offset my table to my left. 0.462. Exactly what I want. So now we're going to reverse the procedure and the climb mill. So 0.498. All right, so I got to go back 2 turns, right where I'm at now. Trying to keep a nice steady feed, so I got a really good finish. All right, so I'm 1/1000th from the center. By hand, I'm feeding this very slow, trying to be consistent, because this climb milling rotation, so it can snatch this out easy if I try to take too big of a bite. I'm going to keep rotating. As soon as it stops, all right, so now we'll take the part out. So there's our finished piece. We got a nice flat, a nice radius that feels good, a nice flat. So I'm shooting for roughly 5/16 diameter, 562 thousandths. Uh-oh, I didn't turn my...
Voicemail on. 0.0000 inches. 0.5595 inches.
So I missed it by 3 thousandths. I'm a little narrow, which is plenty good for me, for my Made in America pins. So if you're not familiar with my Made in America pins, you can go to the website, theblindmachinist.com, or the Blind Machinist on Facebook and check them out. There's 7 hand machined parts. I 100% designed myself, and this is the clip. I'm really proud of it. For something to start 7/8 solid hex to end up with that right there. Pretty accurate machining, designed 100% by 100% Blind Machinist, and hand machined by the same 100% Blind Machinist. Some work I'm really proud of. And one thing I forgot a while ago, if you find my GoFundMe, if you don't want to use GoFundMe, you can go to the website, theblindmachinist.com. There's a donate button at the top. I appreciate any donations. I appreciate any shares. I appreciate you following my page, spreading the word. Hope you take away a little inspiration to let you know no matter what life deals you, you can overcome your obstacles, surround yourself with supporters, and distance yourself from doubters. You can make excuses or make it happen. Thank you so much.